introduce yourself?
Hello, my name's Janis. I've been here some years ago. I don't know, 6 or 7 or whatever. Still the same. I couldn't say that nothing's changed, but still the same. Still in the same shop, going strong and happy to be here.
So what are you doing? You're tattooing.
Yeah, I've been tattooing since. Well, we tried to figure out which exactly was the first day of my tattooing career, if you could say so. And well, obviously it's like 20 plus something years. I've been in this Rigas Tinte tattoo shop for about, well, next year it's gonna be 15th anniversary of the shop. So yeah, that's how long I've been working in the shop. I never worked in any different shop other than going to some few guest spots, but this is it. This is my home.
And this is also your shop?
Yeah, I'm one of the founding members of the crew and the co-owner of the shop as well. Yeah.
A short story how you got into tattooing, just a quick.
Well, obviously, because of like several circumstances, that everything kind of worked out in a way I didn't expect it. I couldn't say that I've been interested in tattooing since the first time I saw it. Obviously, in some music videos and just like occasionally on the street. I was amazed about another form of art. Like my first interest in tattooing came from not the obvious aspects of kind of doing this for a living or something like that. My interest in tattooing came from the fact that it was another way how to express yourself. And it's like painting on a paper, painting on a shirt, painting on a wall, and then this is another way of doing it. So it seemed super exciting, and I clearly remember that like my first years doing it at someone's house and just going around and tattooing at apartments and stuff like that. I was just excited about the chance to do it, and like the financial aspect, and and like the future aspirations of me being a tattooer came pretty late, after several years after starting tattooing.
So when did things get serious?
The things got serious probably the moment when I started to make tattoos on people whom I don't know, friends of the friends, So that's when you kind of think about it like, okay, this is kind of serious. These people are kind of related to close people of mine, but they're not the people I know, and so, the level of kind of importance and, of actually doing it right, was like on a different level. And that's when I realized, that this could become something more serious. And I remember just like the first time someone paid me for a tattoo, it was like a kind of like a pinpoint when you kind of set your goals in a way that you can think about this as like a way of like being artistic and earning living from it.
Cool. Tell us about your background before tattooing, because you were into arts and this was another form of art.
Tattooing came into my life really like spontaneously. It wasn't like a plan or something that I was like keeping my mind on for several years or something like that. It was just like a accidental chance of someone having a self-made tattoo machine and giving me a chance to try it on some of my friends and stuff like that. But before that, I've been a musician longer than I've been a tattooer. So I mean, I've been playing drums more than 24 years, like around 25 years, something like that. And of course, spending a time in alternative society and stuff like that, you see a lot of tattoos, you see a lot of people expressing themselves in a more open way that I've ever seen. And of course, it drew my attention, but it wasn't that instantly, as I said, I was drawn to tattoos. But the being in an alternative society, just like you see a lot of people with tattoos, and that's the thing, and it gets you interested. But before that, well, I've been drawing all my life since I remember myself. When the school started, I started working on it. Doing some courses in like classical drawing and stuff like that. And then eventually I got in an art school, and that's when actually at the same time I started, practicing tattooing and stuff like that. So I've been. It wasn't the fact that like I had to relearn how to draw or something like that. Of course, you have to relearn, but it wasn't that I had to start like learning to draw from scratch.
So what did you do in the beginning, and how did you find your style? Where are you now?
In tattooing,
Yes.
when I started tattooing, I liked different styles of tattooing, the types of tattoos that I don't necessarily like now. I don't know if like is a good definition, but I mean like when I started tattooing, I was really amazed by like some new school tattoo pieces where you see a lot of colors, you see a lot of dimension, you see like reflections of colors, and the shapes and how the colors flow and all that stuff. And I clearly remember looking at like those 20 plus years ago, looking at some really classical traditional tattoos. I thought like, why people love them so much, because they're so simple. I mean, you could do something more intricate, something more difficult. It took me a while to kind of understand that the simplicity of that style is like the essence of it. And and it's the same with drumming. When you start playing drums, you want to add like cymbal there, you want to add like lots of like equipment, and you want to try it all. And then after a while, when you get like good at doing that, you kind of like take some parts off, because it's kind of more pure and more exciting to do it with less of stuff around, and there have been several styles that I liked constantly, throughout my career. Like Japanese has always been like one of my favorite styles, even from the day one since I started doing this one. And I cannot say that there's any style of tattooing that I hate, because I think like you can do everything in a way that it complements the body of a person, So it's just it's a matter of taste in a way.
Then what led to making a shop without being in one?
The idea of opening a tattoo shop, as I said, came quite late. I tattooed, as I said, like around 5 or 6 or even a bit more years at home and stuff like that. And and I didn't know anything about like classical apprenticeship and stuff like that. But I remember like my best friend, who is like the founder, co-founder of the tattoo shop and owner, Edgar's. He came to me with the idea that maybe it would be awesome to spend time together at the work and stuff like that. And what started just like as an idea, when I firstly kind of I think I kind of rejected the idea because I thought that like I'm not ready for that. It took me a while to actually realize that maybe it's possible, to be on the same level as I thought that like most of the shops are. And there was a perfect timing for everything, and so we met with Edgar's at some point. I'm not gonna talk about like the detailed history of day when it happened, and stuff like that, but we made the decision that let's try it out. If we never try, we never know. I think it was like one of the probably best decisions of our lives. So.
And what's the evolution of the shop from 14 years ago to where are we now?
Yeah, when we started the shop 14 years ago, we were at a different location in the old town of Riga. It was a small shop. We had a chance to kind of rent it from the people we know, and they were really helpful towards us at the first month and couple years of opening shop. And we started as basically 3 founding members, and we've been all evolving since. Now we're in total of 9 people. So basically, of course, we have a different location, but when we started, it was really cool to open the shop in the old town because it draws the attention in a way, and it's like we thought it's like a kind of prestige thing to have the shop opened in the old town. And then basically, yeah, we got like more and more people, more artists interested in what we do, more tattoo artists interested in the shop. We had the fortunate chance to meet up with some super inspiring tattoo artists. At one point, we realized that we're too many for the small place, and we started to look for another shop. And then luckily we found this shop which was basically 9 years ago. Next year is going to be, I think, the 10th year in this location. We instantly had a chance of adding some members, so there has been some change of personnel in the shop. Some people went, some people came. Every day I'm super fortunate about the company of people we have here, because like everyone seems to click with each other. It's one of the most important things. Having a open style tattoo shop with lots of room, and the communication and the joy of being together in one big room is like a blessing.
Any future plans, or this is the final form? Or no near future plans?
I've been guessing in different tattoo shops. Talking about the future plans of the tattoo shops has always seemed like a sketchy thing to me. To put up like a plan for several next years, it's always like a sketchy thing, because you never know what's gonna happen. And I think like when you put aspirations like to be like on some kind of level and do this by this year, and then do this and this, you have several stops where disappointment can come, and I mean, like, not having agenda is like one of the best agendas of actually running a shop. So I think like I've always loved the two shops who basically for a certain time, stays on the same level, the place, the people, so I think like it's always a bit sketchy to do, like, plan ahead too far. You just have to go with the flow, and of course we have some ideas how we could upgrade the tattoo shop and what we want this tattoo shop to look like. We don't have anything like time plan wise put on the wall and stuff like that. So I mean, we're just gonna hopefully keep on doing this in the way we have. I'm super happy of like what we have achieved in these like 14-15 years. I most probably didn't thought that like the influence we hopefully had on many things related to tattooing in Latvia could be this big.
Since many people are wanting to get into tattooing, what your advice would be, and also comparing to your start, how would you recommend or not recommend to go about things?
I'm just gonna put it simple, just do it. I mean, like, if you really want to do it, and meaning really want to do it, because it's not like an easy road. Still, if you really want to do it, you have to do it. And I think like saying that it's not the easy road, it's not going to be like a smooth sail, is the fact that basically the difficulties that new tattooers run into starting tattooing now is most probably completely different than the difficulties I had when I started tattooing. So it would be kind of stupid to look and advise some other tattooers of like some specific, I don't know, some specific ideas how to do it based on what I went through, So I think it's different times and stuff like that. I think one of the most important things, which is basically related to many other things than tattooing, is like actually realizing why you want to do it. I might not be objective, but like as I said, like the reason why I wanted to do it was the fact that it seemed so interesting, it seemed so exciting, like this medium of art which is on the people, it's like seemed something super wild in a way. I was super inspired and I completely fell in love with it since I started it. And I think like it's really important for the new tattooers actually to kind of love the idea of doing it, and there's always going to be difficulties. There's going to be financial problems while starting to do it. It depends on like the way how you're going to get apprenticed and all that stuff, or you might not get apprenticed, and there's different ways how to start tattooing. But I think like the fundamentals of a good tattooer is like the love for tattooing, a pure, sincere interest in doing it. And I think like in these times where there are so many tattooers, so many good tattooers, if you don't have your love for tattooing set on like 100%, or like your idea of being a tattooer not being like 100%, then it's going to be like an uphill battle. You have to be really into it. I think you have to put your heart in it, and then, as cliche it may sound, things most probably going to work out somehow.
And from the practical side about information or tools, would you still recommend to grab a homemade tattoo machine from a friend and go for it?
The way I started tattooing is probably like with the homemade tattoo machine, you know, and everything. It was like it was pretty brutal in a way, you know.
Still, it was how people did it back then.
Yeah, but I mean, like, of course, I don't want to talk about like any hygiene related things and stuff like that while doing it at, like with the homemade tattoo machine at home, you know. But I wouldn't suggest that this is a good way how to start it in any way. You have to be aware that there's a lot of tattoo schools, a lot of, you know, these tattoo courses. Some of them most probably are pretty good, like filled with like really good information by the people who have the reputation, some history in tattooing. But lots of those courses and tattooing schools doesn't have any fundamental idea of what tattooing actually is, besides then some of the technical aspects that they can teach, you know. But there's a lot of different things related to tattooing that you have to know to become a good tattooer that is not technically related. Working in a tattoo shop, dealing with the people, understanding of the people, respect to the clientele, and that's the stuff most probably you're gonna learn only from the point when you're gonna get into a tattoo shop, because it's a different setting, different setting of things, you know, and then different qualities come in front of others. So I mean, like practically, I would say still one of the most important things for any tattoo beginner is the drawing. Constant reminder that you have to work on this every single day to be on some kind of a level. If you're gonna be really interested in this one, that no mission is gonna be too difficult. You know, you just have to love to do it. Most of the information you can get in a YouTube or whatever, you know, tattoo instructional channels. Most of the instruction is most probably correct. And I just remember that when I started, you know, there was no such kind of information. And I mean, like, I'm so happy for the new generation of tattooers who can get the same information super fast and super easy, and it gets them to being good tattooers in no time, in a way, most probably.
Unrelated to the whole thing question, how being a shop owner and tattooist and man of million things changed when you had a kid?
I mean, all praise goes to my wife. I do all these things because, you know, she has my back. I'm fortunate to have a person beside me, you know, who kind of understands the vital need for myself to do these things, you know. These are the things that I love. These are the things that make me happy. She understands the need of those things in my life, you know. And even though in the most times I really understand that, I mean, like, I'm putting her in quite difficult situations quite often, you know, when I have like all these things around. But I'm just fortunate, and I still cannot believe that I have a person like that beside me. And all my love and all my life goes to her, you know. And of course, there's a lot of, I don't think that you can plan anything ahead of, you know, before having a kid or something like that, you know. You have the idea of how you're gonna, you know, manage your time and stuff like that, you know. But you can plan whatever you want, you know. It's just like gonna be the way it's gonna be, you know. And I'm just super happy that I still have a chance to do like a lot of things that I love, and it's only because of my wife.
Let's finish on some cheesy wish to everyone out there.
Everyone out there.
Anyone, tattooist and up and coming.
My advice and for everyone, I don't know. There's
a wish.
There's a lot of people who talks about the fact that, you know, this is like a quite difficult moment for tattooing globally. A lot of tattooers without work, a lot of tattooers with the difficulty to find new clients, and there are a lot of circumstances that influence this. There's a lot of things different in every country, you know. But fundamental thing is that you have to treat people with respect, and you have to understand that, you know, you can be however good artist you can be, but without client you're basically nothing in tattooing. So I mean, like, treat those people good, and on the long term, you know, it should all work out. And just be kind to each other, and that's exactly what is this about.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you. My pleasure, as always.